Hello, it is February 11th. It is snowing outside. It is coming down. We've had ice storms too. The other night, we canceled company for dinner because we were afraid it would be icy afterwards. And nothing happened. So we went shopping and we came out and our car was encased in ice. So welcome to Creative You Podcast. I'm Catherine Kirby. It is about knitting, crocheting, and being a godly woman of God or man of God. So, Duke, do you want to say hi? Come on. Here's Duke. Duke's a boxer whippet. He's a great dog. He's had all these kitties to compete with. Oops. And recently we added 2 kittens. If you see on my Facebook page, you'll see they are extremely active. And we wanted a playmate for Yuka, who is now a big boy. And he's actually terrified of them. They've been here 2.5 weeks. He was the little cat terrorizing the big cats, and now he's the big cat that doesn't want to be terrorized by the little cats. He's trying to learn to play with them. They're laying down here. I'll show you then. So I wanted to show you some of the things I've been doing. There is a podcast called Stitch in Sweden. It's been out a long time. And its host is Maria. And if you go to her most recent podcast, Maria Montzka, all the things she made in 2024 made me feel like a slug. I'm like, how does anybody get that much done? She's a mom. She has daughters. This is her baby vest called Ria, R-I-A. Almost like a tiara, but Ria. I was going to finish it, and then I thought it might be good sometimes to just show things on the needles. So it started here. It is I think a $7 pattern. And then you go into the lace work, and now I'm binding off. It takes 160 to 280 yards of a sport weight yarn. This is a sport weight cotton called Euro Baby Kid Cotton in the ombre colors. I am doing the 6 to 12 months. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I've made it before, but not in this yarn. And what else? It goes up to 18 months. So I am binding off now. Oh, I got to cross that off because I left that at the shop. I also did a hat, a double hat where it's like a tube and you put a hat inside a hat in a yarn called, I think, Mirasol Huni. It's a natural fiber, not machine washable, which is my favorite yarn to work with. Then I switched to brown and green on the inside, not realizing if you fold it up, this was just what we call a happy accident. You get that edge of brown. So I was really happy with it. And I have a little crochet group going at the shop. And I'll show you, I should take a video of what people are doing. But I have a yarn called Mirasol Sulka. It's a merino yarn with baby alpaca and silk. This is the daily double mitts. Done in a bulky weight yarn. Takes 110 yards. It's by Jill Ramos. And they're pretty quick. So I already have the second one started. It's been really cold. So I've been making mitts for other people. I'm going to make these for myself. Here's the pattern. It is a pay pattern, but I don't remember that it was very expensive. And the yarn is a dream to work with. An absolute dream. Let's see here. I got this yarn in a grab bag from Knitting Fever. It is soft, it is squishy, but I don't know what it is. It has these little bobbles on it. I think it's maybe some wool and nylon, maybe some acrylic, I'm not sure. But I just started, you know what's back in? The big long scarves. So I started a half double crochet scarf and added this fun yarn that I had that is white with these little, I don't know what you'd call them in. So I'm alternating, kind of like snow in between, and it's soft and squishy. And I'm just doing that one stitch for a big scarf. Also, I love Mon Petit violons patterns, a lot of baby things, girl things. I started the Berry Cardigan. This is a much deeper turquoise than it shows. It is a pay pattern, $5. You start here, go down, pinch off the arms. And now I'm at this section, and I'm not sure what I'm doing, and I kind of paused on it. She does have pictures, so I just need to sit and figure it out. Look how cute that is. It comes in a variety of sizes up to size 10. This yarn is Juniper Moon Farm Zooey, which is a cotton linen machine washable. Hopefully I'll have it done next podcast. And then today at the yarn shop, I downloaded a free pattern. So imagine my surprise by the end of the day when it's no longer free. It is called Flower Motif Baby Blanket by Lisa Van Klaveren, which is Holland Designs. I like to read about people. So she has 3 daughters. She's been crocheting since she's age 5. She's had some patterns in, I think, magazines or books. And the pattern is now $2.75. You make 36 motifs for a 34-inch square blanket, or you can make more. I did one in Katia, Bahamas, which is a fingering weight cotton. I use the same size H hook, I think, but you can see the difference in size. It just so happened that my multicolors got on the inside, which I like, but that won't happen every time. I think that this row here, when I did it, I didn't think it had enough stitches to, like, I see that it kind of makes my middle pop, which I like that, but I don't think that's part of the design. Then I have Ella Ray Velveteen Cotton, which is reported to be a DK weight. It has, I think, 87% cotton, 81, and 19% nylon. It says this little fringe it hangs down. I'm not sure that it doesn't work up more like a light worsted. I have these on the corners just to help me keep my count straight. And I think blankets in pure white are pretty. This is kind of stiff to work with, but I'll reserve my critique until it's washed and I see how it feels. It was easy to work with, but it has that little bit of a pull. The Katia Bahamas, even though it looks good, it's one of those yarns that's like embroidery floss where it all separates, and you have to learn how to pull up on your hook so it doesn't all separate. Hoping to get, you know, a square or two done a day, then I'd have a blanket done in a month, and that would be great. Hi, Zoe. Oh, now for the big boy. So I make blankets for the Indian reservations, and this is so big. It's been on our table because I don't know where to put it. It's so big. It's going to be 7 feet by 6 feet, so that if somebody needs it to hang it on their trailer wall to block the cold, they can. It's done with an S-hook, huge. A variety of yarns. I started out with a yarn called Paladin, which was an online yarn. But you know what? It's actually a jumbo. And then when I tried to use Cascade Magnum, which I felt was a very super bulky yarn, I had to use 2 strands. So the blanket has a lot of, hello, a lot of yarn in it. Let me see if I can hold it up. Try not to get it dirty. It has a lot of different colors. The Paladin is done, oh, it's really heavy. Talk about a weighted blanket. Man, this would be it. I think, whoa. My husband came down one morning and found the kittens on the table sleeping on it. So the kittens, one is white. She looks like she was in the sand and it snowed on the beach and she popped up. She has tan back here and little dots of tan on her face and a tan and white striped tail. Elliot is, looks like a little Siamese cat. They were abandoned out in the snow. I don't know what happened to their mom. My granddaughters Ella and Olivia found them, so I named him Elliot. Ella for Ella, E-L-L, Olivia, O-L-I, T for Tomcat. And then I found out Elliot means, I think, something like my God is Lord, or I like that. Ella wanted to name her Snow, but I just felt funny calling her Snow, so I've been calling her Josie. Isn't it amazing how all the, just not all, but most of the names for men have a female name, like Gerald, Geraldine, Paul, Pauline, and I knew a lady named Lou Ella, which, you know, David, I don't know about that. Davina, I had a yarn named Davina. I wanted to show you this little book. I don't know where I got it, how long I've had it, but it was written by Blaise Pascal, who was a mathematician, a scientist, a philosopher, a theologian, a child prodigy in the early 1600s. He only lived to be 39 years of age. They think he might have had celiac disease, which I have that. He believed in God, and his last words were, "May God never abandon me." I wanted to read just a little section from this book. Maybe I do. maybe I lost my page. Maybe I did. Well, I might do it another time because there was something special that I wanted to read. He is famous for, various quotes. You can look him up, but I'm not sure where, it was. So we're just going to move on. If you'd like to stay and join us for the Word of God, I would really love it because it will change you. The Word of God changes your mind, which rules your heart. The light of God comes in. So the Psalms were sung. We have some modern day that are where they, put melodies to the Psalms. I'm going to read Psalm 27, which was written by King David. The Lord is my light and my salvation. So it's my Lord. He's my light. Whom should I fear? Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom should I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. I believe that King David fought against Nephilim, giants, and I believe they would have ate him, literally ate his flesh. They stumbled and fell. Though a host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise up against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of the Lord, that I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. King David was a fugitive for many, many years, hiding from King Saul, who wanted to kill him. He couldn't go to the temple of the Lord to worship, and he really missed it. For in the time of trouble, so when trouble comes, in the time of trouble, he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me upon a rock. All kings in the old times had secret places where they went to hide from their enemies, to get away, secret places. And only certain people would be invited into these secret places, but God invites us into his secret place. And now shall my head be lifted up above my enemies round about me. Did you ever see the old Mel Gibson movie? What was that called? Where they wanted to kill him, and in the end, they put his head up on a stake where everybody could see it. That was their trophy. I think David is referring to that. They want to lift his head up. He says, and now shall my head be lifted up above my enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in God's tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yes, I will sing praises unto the Lord. So what is he saying? He's not saying they're going to kill him and lift his head up. He's saying God is going to lift me up above. We used to have a little Cocker Spaniel, and the dogs weren't allowed on the bed. And we had a black lab. But one day the Cocker Spaniel jumped up on the bed beside us. And when the black lab circled the bed like, hey, what's going on here? The Cocker Spaniel lunged out to bite her, which I didn't know my little Ellie had that in her. But I read that it's a sign of dominance when you're lifted up above. Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice, have mercy on me and answer me. When you said, seek my face, my heart said unto you, your face, Lord, will I seek. What does that mean? Because we can't see God's face. It means we seek him. We seek him. Do not hide your face far from me. What did Blaise Pascal say? May God never abandon me. Do not put away your servant in anger. You have been my help. Do not leave me nor forsake me. May God never abandon me. When my mother and father forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in a plain path because of my enemies. How many people get lost because they're not on a plain path? I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Do not deliver me over to the will of my enemies. And what is the will of his enemies? To eat his flesh, maybe torture him. For false witnesses have risen up against me, and such as breathe out cruelty. I would have fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Do you ever feel like that? Wait upon the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. This past week, I was knitting, and I chanced upon this podcast called Strange Interesting Stories, I think. And there was a medical student years ago who went to Nepal to do a medical program, but they didn't need him for weeks. So he and his friend went on a hike, but they weren't mountain climbers. And at first they had guides and people to carry their things. And then they realized this is a piece of cake. They were gone a week. They had a great time and wanted to do it again. This time, though, things didn't work out so well. They didn't have the preparations. They didn't have the help. They just had self-sufficiency. And by the time they got to a lodge, it had snowed, I think, 5 inches. So he was cautious the next day, but his friend said, it's good. His friend named Mark, and the lodge owner said there's no snow in the forecast today. So they set out and it began to snow heavily, almost white out. And we all know you're going to say, oh, this is bad. They decided to part ways. Mark said, I think I can get us through. The medical student said, no, I'm going to go back to the lodge. But he got lost. The snow was too heavy, too deep. He couldn't see his past footprints. He could not go the way he had come. He found a creek and he followed that, and that went into a river, and the river dead-ended at a waterfall with high cliffs. After a while, he is on cliffs, hanging by his fingernails in this whiteout. Long story short, he comes to a cave, and he's actually there, I think, 42 days, which when they found him, they called him a god because they said no one survived more than 10 days. He had no food, just 2 chocolate bars. He couldn't feel his feet. He had a wound on his feet, and when he pierced it with his scalpel, blood came out, but he couldn't feel his feet. He began to think, if I survive, I'll probably lose my feet. Later on, a big bear came, and he actually charged the bear with his scalpel, thinking it would be a quick death, but the bear didn't kill him. But the bear came around every night. His sister went to Nepal and got agencies, but people were trying to find him and they were getting lost. And somebody told her to consult the Dalai Lama, the monks, who drew a triangle and said, he is in this area. Now, nobody believed that he would have been in that area, but that's where he was. They eventually sent a plane flying, and he ran out and he waved his arms and he did everything, and he had long red underwear and he pulled them down, and they didn't see him. And it was such a disappointment to him. But a few days later, another plane came, and he jumped up in the air and waved his arms for 20 minutes, and then he fell down from exhaustion. But he knew they saw him. He also knew it would take them about 4 days to find him. And they did find him. And they were shocked that he was alive. I mean, skeletal, but alive. And he made it. I'm going to tell you what broke my heart. So the Lama monk Buddha got this credit. But what about God? He was going to die. Wild animals were coming. What about God? Why didn't he call out to God? You would think even if you didn't believe in God and you were in those circumstances, he did martial arts. He did things to direct his mind away from being hungry. But what about God, who created him in the womb? That was my disappointment. So I'm going to end there. I'm going to say have a great week. It's only Tuesday. I'm going to enjoy the snow and praise God because snow is such a miracle. And shine, baby, shine. Keep your smile, keep your light. If you don't have a relationship with God, seek him with all your heart and you shall find him. Take care. Bye-bye.